Got it. It's live, I think, Elaine. It's live.
Okay, Facebook, I will on. Okay, it's live.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very warm good evening to all our audience, and welcome everyone to My Journey to Islam, and very exclusive live chat program brought to you by AXIN, Allied Coordinating Council of Islamic NGOs. How's everyone doing? Selamat Hari Raya, maaf zahir dan batin. We are still in the very celebrative mode here in Malaysia, and yet we are very happy tonight. Alhamdulillah, we are here continuing our very next episode after I think about 1 month plus taking a break from the Ramadan month that we put the program on hold, and today we are back here again to this program, My Journey to Islam. Welcome everyone. So this program is now being played live, directly brought to you on Facebook on the fan page of AXIN page. So I would like to invite everyone who is watching this program to click like and share this program on your Facebook so that inshallah we can actually share this program with more and more people out there, shall we? All right, thank you though for those who actually like and share. And then it's 9 o'clock here at night, 9 o'clock in Malaysia. And I believe everyone had taken their dinner, did their prayer, and we are now with our very special guest tonight here watching this show. All right, so please keep sharing, let the program go out to more people. All right, so this is our episode into, I think, the 4th episode tonight. After having a chat with many of our Muslim reverts from all over the world. Okay, what's special about My Journey to Islam, this program brought to everyone by AXIN, is that every month on the 3rd Friday of the month, we actually bring to you Muslim reverts personalities from all over the world. And so far, if you all remember, we had actually interviewed quite a few personalities, including Ustad Haji Abdul Latif Sataran, Dr. Jay Suman, a very technology expert and lecturer from UTM. We've also interviewed Brother Azhar Steven from the US. Yeah, and today we're going to bring to everyone another very outstanding and also very active pendakwah all the way from Japan. All right, so assalamualaikum, konbanwa, o genki desu ka, Brother Sugimoto?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Yes.
Alhamdulillah to see you. May I know what's the time now in Japan?
About 10 p.m. 5. 10, 6, yes.
Thank you so much for staying up and still with us at 10 o'clock at night.
It's my pleasure.
Alhamdulillah. And today I'm sure we have some fans and followers from Japan itself. So welcome everyone. Okay, so myself and the team were calling in from Malaysia, and we have a Haji Sugimoto calling in from Chiba, Japan. All right, so a little bit of introduction. Allow me to do a little bit of introduction about our guest speaker today, our sharer today. So ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have this very honorable guest, okay, dialing in all the way from Chiba, Japan. He is the chairman for Chiba Cultural Center, all right? And he's also the chairman for Chiba Islamic Cultural Center, CICC. Japan Representative, Islamic Education and Research Academy, UK. And he's also the lecturer of Muslim Converts Association in Singapore. So I can see that the credential of Brother Sugimoto, actually, it's a long page. I'm not going to read it all. We know that he's very active, and he has actually been to Malaysia almost every year before the pandemic, yeah, brother?
Yes, yes, yes.
And yeah, so now with the uplift, we hope to see you here again in Malaysia soon.
Inshallah.
So no more stranger to Malaysia. He has been actively involved in a lot of dakwah activities, actively involved in RDC and many events. And this year also very special that AXIN is celebrating our 20th anniversary. So it's really our pleasure to have you here. So to begin with listening to your story, I can't wait to ask this question because I saw your Facebook posting, or just like today itself. You were saying something, sharing a very great news about your dakwah activities to your family members itself. I think that's your parents that I saw on the Facebook.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Very good, Alhamdulillah. So
Alhamdulillah.
many, I think it's a wish by many of us, the reverts, who really look forward to bringing our parents, our non-Muslim family into the religion and also to da'wah. But I believe many are also facing challenges and not sure how to go about it. So would you like to share with us maybe the journey? How did you actually manage to do that?
All right. Okay. Thank you. May I call you Sister Aisha?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your introduction. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. My name is Kyoichiro Sugimoto. I myself, of course, Muslim revert. And I embraced Islam 25 years ago. So even inviting my parents is it was done overnight. It took a long time. I could say it took 20 years. So those who just recently reverted to Islam, you don't have to pressure yourself. Just concentrate on developing yourself first to be a good Muslim. Concentrate on to acquiring a basic knowledge of Islam, so you don't have to worry about how you have to persuade or convey the message of Islam to the parents, because the nearest one is the hardest one, because they know everything about you, inside out, outside. So it's not that easy, and usually the reverts, they had very hard time with parents. So anyhow. It took 20 years for me. Invitation is not difficult, because just convey the message. But whether or not the parents will accept the invitation is different matter. So it took 20 years. So before actually they accepted Islam, they are really against Islam. Especially my father was, got angry when I talk about Islam, because whenever I met them, I talk about Islam. So again, you talk about Islam to me, I'm not willing to accept it. So eventually, I got angry. So the relationship was not good. So I developed a new strategy. It is not wise approach to talk about Islam all the time. So it was last year when my parents came to visit my uncle living in Saitama near Tokyo. Chiba also just next to Tokyo. Saitama is another prefecture just next to Tokyo. Then visiting my nephew. Then besides, they also came to my house to see my family. Then they stay only 5 minutes actually, because I started to talk about Islam. So this time also, again, probably my strategy was not really good. But at least I could convey a certain message. But I realized that next time when I visit my hometown, that is in Gifu, about 400 kilometers far from my place in Chiba. So I drive with my wife to meet my parents and to give dawa. But that time I realized that we need to normalize the relationship first. So what I have done is to give the gifts, just what my parents like to have, such as for my father, like he loves coffee and some snacks, some nuts. So I send him quite often before visiting them. Even to my mother, I send the flower. So just to normalize our relationship. Then after I visited, they welcomed us. So it means it has some effects. Then later I was waiting when I can start talking about Islam. First, we start the general talk. How are you and how is your health and family? Then I was waiting when I can initiate my Dawa talk, but it took like almost 4 hours to reach to that stage. So first I try to listen what their issues, their problems, because they're already old, 75 years old. Then there must be some concerns about their future. They're already tired from their job. So first I have to listen what their concern, because I have only one sister living nearby and myself only 2 children. So I listened to them. As they said, their concern is about their house, because nobody living there except 2, only my parents. So after they passed away, who will take care of this house? So I said, you don't have to worry about it. I will take care of it. So one worry, it's removed. So the other worriness is about their what do you call it? Who will taking care of them when they get sick or weak? So I said, with myself and my wife can take care of you whenever you become like sick or weak. So you don't have to worry about it. So somehow they are relieved, they relax. So after opening their hearts to remove their worries about their future, then there is certain room for them to listen about Islam. So my father just asked me, why do you wear the beard? This is something very strange for the Japanese, right? Why you have beard? So that is the kind of one approach. Whenever the non-Muslim asking a question related to Islam, we do not directly answer that question, but just we ask, do you have 5 minutes to understand, to know Islam? Because to understand why I have beard, you need to understand basics of Islam. So you have 5 minutes. That is the kind of approach that I was taught, by the Dawa training. So I use this approach and the so-called GORAP. It's a famous approach by IERA in UK. So I just applied this methodology, and I talk about 10 minutes to 15 minutes. Talk about the existence of God and oneness of God, and the Quran, the revelation, the prophethood. So after I completed this series of talk, that it's a formatted in Japanese. Then my father asked me, what do you want? Just simple question. He asked me, what do you want? So that is a moment just my wife actually realized, probably that is a moment that kind of Allah give them a hidayah or help. This is a hunch, in intuition. My wife just sitting next to me got, and immediately just she interrupted. And we want shahada from you. We want that you accept there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger. That is what we want. So then what exactly I have to do? So we said, just you say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. So they just uttered. So just they repeated again and again, more than 20 times.
Oh my. Was
So
that sorry? Sorry. Your parents actually embraced Islam. As in, was it recent or
yes,
like
it was last year.
it was last year?
Last year, yes. So it was really surprise for us, for me and for my wife. We never expected, and just we made the the sujud syukur, the process of the Thanksgiving to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. It's really a special moment. But anyhow, this is what happened, right? So and then this time, actually after that, it took 1 year, because next step is certainly is about prayer. Then when I visited them after that, every 2 months I visited them. However, because the area is so like village, a remote area, no Muslim around them, so it is very hard for them to like act to practice prayers because there's no one. So that is my responsibility also what to do. Even there is a masjid in Gifu, but in the Gifu city, it's a capital of Gifu prefecture. It's far. It took about 40 minutes by car, so it's not like everyday activity. So and then they also kind of reluctant to visit because of their image, like there are many foreigners, Muslims in the masjid, and then no one they know, so it's very difficult for them to access. So I also developed a new plan to invite them to a special journey of faith. That is to invite them to come to Tokyo and my area Chiba, because there are a lot of Muslim here in Tokyo area, and the many masjid, alhamdulillah now. So that is a new strategy. So last week, just after Eid, there's a break. Then there is a so-called we call Golden Week during in Japan. It's a long holiday. Then a week after, I drive to Gifu, my hometown, and I took them, took my parents, and then drive back to my home. I mean the recent residence. I'm in Chiba. Then because this is the on the way of journey, so they have no choice but to visit masjid, right?
It's
Because
a
they
good
have
strategy, yeah.
yeah, this strategy, yes, because they have no way to go, right? So I already scheduled from the beginning. I told them, now today we will visit the Chiba Islamic Cultural Center. Tomorrow we visit Tokyo Jeremy, and then we will see the place. That this is a place for the prayers, and then you meet many Muslims there. No worry, I'll be with you. So that is the case. So the Friday, just exactly 1 week ago, I invited them to come to Chiba Islamic Cultural Center, where I'm representative. I'm a chairman. Then that was Friday, and then actually I'm in charge of khutbah, the Friday sermon, the preach. I didn't expect that my father will come to the prayer hall and to listen khutbah and then join the congregational prayer, but he did. All of a sudden he came to the floor and to listen the khutbah, and finally he joined the congregation prayer, the Jumu'ah, the Jama prayer. Even I didn't ask for him. So it was really amazing and then surprise. And my mother also actually next day we went to Tokyo Jami, a very beautiful masjid, a Turkish style. Then we took photos, and my mother, this is a photo just now you're watching, just put on hijab, although she was against hijab before, asking my wife to remove it whenever we came to their hometown.
Right.
But now she put it on.
MashaAllah.
So, and then my father practiced prayer in the masjid. I didn't share the like prayer and the sujud. There is the photos of sujud.
Right.
But
Brother, I'm
anyway, it
just
was also
curious.
really surprise.
Sorry, just curious. So, how old is your mom? What's her age?
My mother is 72. My father is 75.
75, 72. Right. So basically, you embraced Islam about 25 years ago.
Yep.
So at that time, they were about in their 50s, late 50s.
Yeah, something like that. Yes, exactly.
MashaAllah, it's really a journey, a very good sharing. I'm just going to take pause here to recap and also to welcome some of our new followers and also friends who just came online into today's program, My Journey to Islam. Yeah, so actually for the past about 5-6 minutes, we've actually heard from Brother Sugimoto all the way from Chiba, Japan, sharing with us how he had actually managed to bring his parents at the age of 74 in their 70s to embrace Islam, mashallah. And I noted this word where brother mentioned quite a few times, strategies. It's like, well, he actually planned, he prayed, he planned, and he actually put in effort. And that's a strategy for him to do that. So for our newly friends who just came on board, came online with us, please like and share our program because this is very interesting for all of us, especially the mu'alaf, especially for the reverts, to know and also to learn the strategies how Brother Sugimoto had actually brought his parents into Islam. And allow me to recap. He mentioned something about if it's too sensitive to talk about Islam at the initial stage, don't talk about it too much yet. And then Brother Sugimoto also mentioned about find out what's their likings, what they like, buy and bring it to them, listen to them, and ask them what's their concern. I like the way you did, as in like you asked them, what is your concern? What are you worried about? And then from there, you actually show care and kind of promise that you will take care of them and you will take care of their house. I think that really, mashallah, that really give them a very big relief and also to know, happy to know that even though you are Muslim, but you still care about them and you take care about them. Yeah, so that is a very good sharing that I think many of us reverts in online can actually learn from you. Okay, good. So now I think you're into the next phase, as in like how to lead them into practicing.
Yeah.
To pray, and even your mom now berhijab. So I think that it's another phase to get them be a practicing Muslim. Yeah.
Yeah. So may I continue or?
Yes, please.
All right. So it's not that easy. It's a. I also surprised what they have done just recently, just last week. So basically, our approach supposed to have very gradual, flexible approach. Is not teaching everything at once. So first, we have to develop ourselves. We have to be good Muslim first of all. Then we have to show, as a good sample, before and after becoming Muslim. Yeah. So there must be improvements. There must be some goodness they can find, and they couldn't find before we embrace Islam. So the first, our behaviors, attitudes, as well as our kindness to our parents, our concerns. So that is actually a main matter. So then when they see and observe difference is within ourselves, then they see some values in practicing Islam. Maybe they may change in the better way. So that is the first, the strategy or methodology. Anyhow, our prophetic methodology, first we introduce the Tawhid, the oneness of God, and the belief we can say the Iman, the 6 pillars of Iman is about the faith. So outwardly, there is no change. Our worldview, our way of thinking, values may change, but it's not really you can see from outside. That is more healthy approach actually. If someone change outwardly all of a sudden, it's rather strange. So my approach also first to change inwardly our worldview and then way of thinking. Then however, we also have to like introduce and implement the prayers. That is to develop the relationship with God, Allah, the bond, so-called habdu min Allah, right? So this is very important because the knowledge and the guidance are coming only from Allah, not from me. So, and I cannot watch them 24 hours. So it's actually up to Allah and up to them to connect with Allah, to develop a good relationship with Allah. So how? Only through prayers, only through prayers. So even someone do not want to do Shahada, but someone want to pray first. I also recommend to do that because through prayers, maybe Allah will open their heart, to give them confidence to do Shahada, to do the testing of faith. So prayer is so important. But usually people reluctant to do that because there's so many things to do, right? Do's and don'ts, and they have to wash. So what is this, So it's not easy to put into action. So it was the case for my parents too. So yeah, that's why actually it's repeated the same story. I made a new strategy to bring them to Chiba and Tokyo area where many Muslims are living there, and encourage them to to practice together. Otherwise, they are staying alone in Gifu. There are no Muslims there.
Right.
So yeah.
I think that's another very good thought and also good strategies. As a brother repeatedly using the word, you actually think through and you plan how to do it. So by having your parents now staying in the place which has more Muslim population, I think it really helped them to to get better influence, and they don't feel alone staying back home by themselves. Now I'm just curious, who else in your family you did mention you have a sister?
Yep.
Yeah, anyone
You
else?
can see the picture here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the left picture. Picture left is standing just here, this picture. You can see the picture left. There is one lady is standing. Yes, so she is my elder sister.
She's your elder sister.
Yes.
Ah, okay. So she's older than you. The one in the stripy shirts, huh?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
All right. So how's the reaction? How's the reaction when she got to know that parents are also now Muslim?
Oh, well, just there is no I mean a big reaction. Just oh, like this, like, oh, really, like some small surprise. Yeah.
Okay, mashallah.
Yeah.
We'll pray that inshallah one day sister will also
Inshallah.
become a Muslim. Right.
Inshallah.
Okay, good. So I think that's the very first part of our chit chat today. Maybe before we move on to the next so-called the next chat, maybe brother can share with us, because I can see that online here we do have some new Muslims who had just revert few months back and some last year. I know some of them, they may be having challenges, as in parents are not accepting them yet. Not accepting in the sense that not very happy to talk about Islam, or even when they come home, still it's quite cold treatment. What is your advice to our new Muslim brothers and sisters?
Yes. Okay. So I understand their situation very well because I was also a similar situation. So, however, we don't have to lose hope, first of all. I also never expected my parents may shahada. I never expected, but just try. I hoping only, and then just tawakkal, depend on Allah. So maybe even maybe your situation is desperate. You think now, but Allah give you surprise. Never know. So just keep going. So first and foremost, I also mentioned that we have to develop ourselves. We have to be better Muslims first, especially in terms of personality. And especially if you are, let's say, I don't know, depending on culture, but if you if you have family, you have to good family. It's a very give them a collective impression. Oh, now Muslim family is good, no? Not alone. Yeah. So develop your children and your wife is very, very important. The family
Right.
impact is very huge because they will watch, oh, my son or my daughter has a very good family, So that is kind of the happiness for the parents also because that means that their success, as a parents. So give them this kind of happiness. And then it was my parents' case. Like if new Muslim, we have to be economically independent.
Right.
Then the parents they don't have to worry about concern about their finance, whether my children is eating every day properly. They don't have any worry about paying their bills. This is a parent's concern. Every parents have this concern, I believe. So you have to relieve from these worries. For them. So we have to be a good, better Muslim and have good family and economically independent. So
Very
that
good.
we have to do this first before we talk about Islam to them. Although you can talk about, but the relationship become already soured and it's not good. So that's why my suggestion is like this.
MashaAllah, thank you very much. I really like your sharing, Brother Sugimoto. I think it's very practical. It's very practical. It's common sense. Yes, every parent's actually worried. They're not happy when we embrace Islam. It's not it basically all goes back to love because they love us so much and just worried that what will happen to my child after he or she embrace Islam. Oh, is he going to be affected in many, many ways? So spot on, as in Brother Sugimoto actually brought up the concerns of our parents in terms of ourselves. Are we going to become a better person? And then subsequently, are we going to raise a good family? Because with the responsibility, especially for the men, you're going to raise family, have your own children. And also, importantly, in terms of finance, will this religion affect my children's career? What is it going to do after this being a Muslim? For those who actually learn culinary, so it's the career as a chef going to be affected because of maybe certain food you cannot touch, cannot eat anymore. And for ladies with the different look after hijab, will that affect their career? So I think these are the worries that come from parents just because they love us so much. Yeah. So that's a good tips, as in become a good Muslim and assure our parents that we are doing very good. We have become a better person before we could start the so-called the da'wah, to start to talk to them about Islam. Yeah. So even we look at Brother Sugimoto, that was like after 20 or over more than 20 years that you actually manage and also convince them in a way, right? So yeah. So okay, so that's the very first part that we talk about that. Next, we would like to hear from you, as in, da'wah in Japan. And I can see that you're actually very active. You're actually the chairperson for Chiba Islamic Cultural Center and also doing many da'wah activities. Maybe in a very general, you can maybe share with us what are the key obstacles or things that you would like to achieve?
All right. It's a long journey. I have to explain from the very beginning how I become full-time Dai, right? So just let me see the history. It was 2015 when I visited Bangladesh, right? I had a project there. Then there is a 1 hour break. So I stay in my room, and then I just turn on TV, and then there is only Bengali local language. I couldn't understand. There is only one channel, which called the Peace TV, and then where the Dr. Zakir Naik talk about Islam, especially comparative religion. And then I was so much impressed and got interest. Then I watched his YouTube videos, and he is well versed in comparative religion. He talk about comparison between Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism also, Hinduism also, right? So this knowledge will be very useful to do dawah for the Japanese people. So eventually I watch most of his videos and then summarize it into Japanese, especially main theme, main contents, that is the oneness of God and the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is actually exists beyond the different religious scriptures. So that is very interesting topic. And then I translate, I publish a book, so-called Introduction to Islam and the Comparative Religion. Then that is the beginning of my like Dawah career, full time. I did the part-time like weekend, like Saturday, Sunday. I was invited like as a speaker, but it's just only a few hours only. So what made me change is this publication. And then that year, 2016, I made a Hajj. Then after coming back from Hajj, actually this Dr. Zakir Naik, he came to Japan for the first time. Then we met him directly. Then he just announced that there is the first international Dawah training program will be held in Mumbai for 2 months or 3 months. Then there are many hundreds of people applied, and from Malaysia, the 5 people selected. But from Japan, only me. I was selected. And then in total, globally, only 20 people are selected. Then we got a very intensive, very hard training, especially in terms of comparative religion, the question and answers, and how to make public speech, and so on. Then I became actually the first full-time Dai in Japan. Then I started, this is a kind of, there is no road because nobody tried before. So it's very difficult how to approach to Japanese people. There's no textbook, there's no answer.
There's no benchmark. There's no
Yeah,
like a
exactly. There's no
benchmark
benchmark at all. So
for
I
you to
tried
refer.
many things. Yes, that's right. So after I met the people from UK, so-called IERA. This is also international Dawah organization. They have a lot of Dai, full-time Dai around the world. And their strategy is somehow, effective for the Japanese people too. I just talked about before about GORAP, the GORAP approach. Is I also revised into Japanese context, into Japanese cultural context. And however, it really works. Then, especially after Corona, before Corona, I used to have like seminar and then maybe like 40, 50 Japanese came and appears and they listened the message of Islam. However, no one became Muslim. No one, because I did not realize that the conversion or the reversion is very private matter, and especially Japanese people, they do not ask any question in public. So, however, because of Corona, I mean, I should say thanks to Corona. Now, because of online, right? Online is very exclusive. One-to-one session is so easy. And then they can ask many questions as they like.
Right.
Yeah. So after very intensive question answer, then after they're satisfied, they embrace it and they shahada online.
MashaAllah.
So like for the last 2 years, right? Corona since almost 3 years. Like
Yeah.
every year about 30 to 35 Japanese shahada.
MashaAllah.
Before only 1 or 2 for the last 3 years. But now after Corona, every year 35, something like this. So it was really very positive for me. Not Corona positive, but you know, yeah, it's very positive approach. You know, in terms of Dawa, to do online Dawa session and the online seminar.
Right.
Especially one-to-one approach is the most powerful one. Although I learned the public speech, but the public speech is not really effective in terms of Japanese context. So that is a kind of the recent discovery, and I could share with you. For the Japanese case, the always one-to-one is better, or I could say best, because they can consult detail, yeah. And then the conversion is so private matter, they don't want to expose to anyone, most of the cases, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that's really good because it's something when we're not sure yet if this is the religion for us. I still recall like during when I first wanted to find out more about Islam, that was like almost 20 years ago. It was something so sensitive. I just don't want any of my friends know that I actually trying to find out more about Islam because we weren't sure, and we don't want friends to look at us as in like laugh at us or to think anything about us. So it's so personal. So yes, so I agree with you that one-to-one session is still very, very good, very effective because it's very personal. But yet, with COVID pandemic, many of us actually have a lot more exposure, and it's a very, very good channel for us to do da'wah. And if not because of the advancement of this digitalization, we wouldn't be able to see you here tonight and connecting yourself, Brother Sugimoto, with so many fans online. Now, talking about that, we actually have a question here from one of our fans on the Facebook. It says here, Allah loves you, Haji Sugimoto-san. Maybe you can share a little bit on your Hajj experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's really crying, you know. I have done Hamda twice in 2000 and 2015. So I could perform a Hajj twice. So the first Hajj, I was alone. Just I was still university student. Second time with my wife, right? So which story you want to hear? Second one is better. Second one, the recent one is better.
All right.
Yeah, recent one is better. So, okay, but in terms of impression, the first one is of course the best one because that was first impression. So it's really crying because every day we are praying to that direction, the Kaaba, while we couldn't see. And then the Hajj is a moment where we can see that Kaaba, you know, where we are always, you know, our direction, right? So, yeah, of course, you know, it's our feeling is really energized and moved. I don't want to return back, you know, to Japan like this kind of feeling. And especially when we enter the haram, the area of prayers, when I look at upward, there's only, you know, the bird only flying. and you will see all the wall surrounded you, and then calm. So as if this place is kind of independent place, like independent area, is nothing outside. That was my first impression feeling when I just entered this haram. Only bird is just moving there and there. So it's a very peaceful place. And then once you enter there, you do not want to go back. That is a that is a impression anyway. Although there are many people when we do tawaf, but you really love it. You really love it.
Mashallah.
Yeah. So that is the impression. But in terms of Hajj, is not that easy because the weather is very hot and dry. While the Japan is very humid country, especially summer season. So in terms of the health for your throat, there must be, we have to wear the mask. It's not because of corona, because of the dust, the
Right.
sun. Yeah. The weather is completely different. Then they have to wear, kind of sunglasses. Yeah, to protect from sun also, because the dust come to your eyes too. So apart from this, the food is completely different from Japanese culture. Maybe Malaysian culture also, maybe you're eating rice, but in the Arab, they don't eat rice basically, they eat bread, right? There is no nasi lama, right? There is no, what do
Nasi
you
lemak,
call it? There is no,
roti canai.
roti canai also not available here.
Right. Good.
There is no, what they call it, this uh, chicken rice.
Chicken rice. Right.
Yeah, nasi ayam. There's no nasi ayam.
Right.
Ayam only. Yeah, but ayam also only salt, with salt. So yeah, of course, many people struggling with food. But however, our intention is not that place. I mean, not that food and then our dress. But best preparation is our taqwa.
Right.
But yeah, before it's difficult to understand it. Once, that's why we have to prepare in terms of our what they call it, internal understanding or conviction. I mean, towards Islam, believing Allah, our sincerity is the most important and the best preparation to perform Hajj.
Right.
And
Right.
it will be tested. Hajj is not that easy. It will be tested. Yes, many people lost their way, and even yes, my friends last before Corona, it was 2019. Still, the Hajj was open for foreigners. My friend was passed away in Medina. Between Medina to Mecca, there is a transportation by bus. In the bus, he died.
Oh, okay. Over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I could say, if we can die in Medina or Mecca, it's really blessing, right? We feel like, Allah took his soul. I mean, the malakul maut. But the thing is, it's not that easy. Many things happened during Hajj, so it itself is a challenge, especially for Allah. Although there is enjoyment, the happiness there, deep spiritual experience is there, but the same time, the many tests, many challenges.
Yes.
Especially, yes, Allah will test our sincerity.
Good. I think that's really that's your very personal experience, and I believe everyone who had actually went to Hajj have their very own experience and stories to tell.
Yeah. Yes.
Inshallah, all of us online here get to be there one day, inshallah. And allow me to just read some comments on the Facebook, on Exin Facebook page. Tonight we have very participative audience. They are putting in a lot of good comments, and allow me to read it. I hope I read it right. From Muhammad, our brother Muhammad Hafizuddin. Honto ni subarashi omedetu gozaimasu. What does that mean? It's something like mashallah.
Yeah, mashallah, yes. It's really great. Congratulations, he said.
Alhamdulillah. And we have another comment here. May Allah bless you all, from Othman. And also one question here from our Malaysia fan, also a Muslim revert. Assalamualaikum, Brother Sugimoto. Can you
Yeah.
share how you face your friends and your cousin after
Mm.
you have embraced Islam?
Okay. So may I answer now?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. It's basically there is no much difference. Better not have so much difference. However, I cannot compare, just after embrace Islam and then today, because if I meet today, maybe I do dawah, right? But maybe long time ago, I do not do dawah. So probably because of time difference, maybe the approach will be different too. So if your concern is about dawah, and then the relationship with my friends or my relatives, either way, I also already mentioned about our, the behavior, the attitude. First, we have to show we became better Muslims. So that is the best approach. And you don't have to hide. First of all, you don't have to hide your Muslimness. If you think they do not give you any harm, I don't know, it depending on your relationship with relatives and your friends, if they give you any harm, you should hide your Muslim identity, but otherwise better open it. So that they will see you from that perspective. And if you are really good now, then they will surprise. Muslim is really good. No? Oh, my friend, from my friend is your friend. Oh, my friend become really good now. So that is a indirect dawah. Yes.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right. So I think why our brother here asked these questions, most probably from my experience when we first embraced Islam, one of the so-called challenges or stress or obstacles will be facing our friends who may be looking at us with a very different opinion, or they look at us, they just have so many questions mark on their
Ah,
head.
okay.
Why
Yes.
why do you want to become a Muslim?
Mhm.
Why do you are living well, you were good, you were so successful in everything that you do,
Mm.
but but why do you have to change
Mm.
your religion?
Okay.
And maybe they think that you have to go into a religion that have full of restrictions,
Mhm.
a religion which is so difficult.
Mhm.
So there's just a lot of questions
Yes.
on their mind. Some will ask you, but
Mhm.
some will not ask you, but they give you a very a different looking at you. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, maybe that's why our brother here is asking as in like, oh, how do we face them?
I understand. Okay, yeah, I understand. So in Japan, people do not ask many questions. Rather, conversion or religious matter is really private, personal. So they do not want to touch it. Although maybe in their heart they want to know why, but they don't speak out. They don't speak out. That's the culture, kind of culture.
Mm.
Yeah. However, maybe their relationship, maybe not my case, but maybe others, especially the women, they start wearing hijab. Then
Right.
it's quite obvious, right?
Yeah. Cannot
So
hide.
yeah, cannot hide. So the reaction from their friends sometimes negative, and if Muslim side are not well equipped with knowledge how to deal with the hard, difficult questions, then these new Muslims, their iman will be weakened.
Mm.
So that's why new Muslim have to be with other group, okay, not living alone or staying alone, have to be together with those who have good knowledge and those who have good attitude and then behavior, then who can advise this kind of question, how to answer, no? So this kind of consultation is very important. Otherwise, this non-Muslim will punch you like you're like sandbag.
Right. Totally agree with you. The iman, the faith has to be strong.
Yeah.
And how to have strong iman, have with high faith, it's by learning.
Yes.
So and we learn, and
Yes.
then we know why. When they ask us, oh, why can't you eat pork, or why must you cover up,
Yeah.
why? So we ourselves are very familiar. We know the answer, so that whether we answer or we don't answer, but we ourselves know the reason why we are doing this.
Yeah.
So agree with you. I very strongly encourage, or new Muslim, old Muslim, born Muslim. We just have to keep on learning the knowledge to keep ourselves up to the level. And I just
Yes.
want to add on one thing. I think we are, as a revert, we actually have a lot more opportunity to da'wah, because when we
Yeah.
meet people, people ask us, hey, why? They normally wouldn't go and ask people who are born Muslim, but they will ask us because we have actually make a switch. So they like to ask us why. So that
Yes.
every time when people ask us why, it's actually an opportunity for us to da'wah.
Yes.
So it's either we
Exactly.
confident to da'wah, we know how, the strategies, the way to da'wah, or we're just so afraid, we don't know how to explain, and we may shy away and forgo the opportunity to da'wah, right? So I pick up some
Yeah.
photos here from your Facebook, yeah, Brother Sugimoto. So these are your students, or maybe are they students at the
Okay.
center?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
these both boys, they are like 20s, just early 20s. Left one is just recently embraced Islam. He is still a second year university student, just 20 years or 21 years old,
right.
very young. But his understanding, mashallah, really Allah gave him an understanding of Islam. Yeah, he compared with many different religions existing in Japan, including Shintoism, Buddhism, Christianity, and the local cults, many new religions. And finally, he came to Islam. Because whenever he analyzed, researched the other religions, he found some faults, some mistakes, or some incomprehensible like contents.
Right.
So, but he said Islam is blameless. He couldn't find any mistakes or flaws, problems. Yeah. So just, a few months ago, he came to our center. Then, but however, before embrace Islam, he has one question. So can I share this one question?
What?
Although he studied, he also watched my YouTube videos, and he believed that Islam is correct, but still there's a gap. There's a gap between understanding of Islam and the make shahada. There's a gap. So how to fulfill the gap also, this is the art of dawah.
Right.
So for him, what was the last question? He said, if I became Muslim and my relatives or family invited me to eat together, and if they offer pork, okay, and I do not want to expose my Muslim identity, so naturally I have to eat what they offer. Otherwise, they have strange feeling why you start not eating this and that. So that is the question. Can I eat that let's say pork if my non-Muslim relative offer while I'm Muslim? And I said that if that is a reason for you not to make shahada, and then that's you eat. Why? Because I mentioned about a chapter 4 verse 48. If Allah wills, Allah will forgive all the sins, but except one sins. That is a kabair, right? That is a shirk, right? So if Allah wills, even eating pork, even fornication, I'm sorry, do not want to take for granted, will be forgiven. Although there must be punishment, but eventually it will be forgiven. But only one sin is not unforgivable. That is shirk, that is association with Allah, or not believing in Allah, first and foremost. So that is the case. So I said that now you are a student, you know how to enter university. You have to pass so many examinations. Now your situation now putting your situation yourself in that situation. Now you are in front of you is the Islamic questions, okay, and then the 100 marks, right? So now in the very beginning, there's only 2 questions. In the beginning, there is only 20 marks question, which is very, very hard. It's almost impossible to answer it. But the rest, there is the 80 marks. That is so easy to answer, and you can answer immediately. So I said that you can consider this 80 marks as Shahada, and this 20 marks is about do's and don'ts and the rules and the Sharia. You're talking about the eating pork or not eating pork, right? So do you want to spend all your given time to answer the most difficult question just to get the 20 marks, or you want to get the 80 marks and to pass the exam and to enter the university? Which one you want to take? So he said, oh, I understand what you mean. And then he embraced Islam. He might just make Shahada.
Right. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. I think that question, it's a simple question, but it's a very basic question that anticipate and also faced by many new Muslim, because they are not ready to reveal their identity yet.
Yes. That is when we read the Sirah, the biography of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the many Sahaba, they also hide. They're teenage. The many Sahaba, the great Sahaba, they embrace Islam when they are teenagers, and they should hide their Muslim identity too.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that it's a very good case study, so-called, to share. And allow me to continue a few comments here on Facebook. Our brother Tung here from Malaysia have one more question. More question here. How to become a better person if you already have a good personality before embrace Islam? So how do you become even better?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah. So I remember the hadith, right? The best Muslim actually is the one who are actually the best person before embracing Islam during Jahiliyyah time, right? So we are expecting that even today, those who are best, best non-Muslim, let's say, best non-Muslim, they become Muslim, and then they become great supporter of the Muslim dawah and for the Muslim community. This is our hope. Especially like those who are influential persons. Hopefully they become Muslim. Like Muhammad Sallallahu wish, the Umar, two Umar, right? And once the dua was accepted, he embraced Islam. It gives really strength. After that, the Muslim could pray without any cheating and then the bullying. So we need the kind of person who are really good. So anyway, it up to the education and the parenting in the country, whether we have a good person or not. It's beyond our control actually. Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Sorry, I will actually come to an end, but just allow me to read out one more comment here, but it's in Japanese.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I read it correctly. Boku wa Islamu ni kawate kara shinseki to mawari no hito ga hijo ni okuta. Anata no bai wa do desu ka?
Okay. So I translate. So in his case, when he embraced Islam, his relatives got angry to him. So what about my case? He's asking me. So my case, it was 1997. So it was like before 9/11. So there was not so much a negative image of Islam that time. So even I talk about my conversion, the reversion to Islam to my parents. Their reaction was something normal. If you want to select, you want to choose the Islam as your religion, it's okay. You decide. It's something like this. So there is not so much what they call it negative reaction. But today probably different because of ISIS and the September 11 and a lot of right before Corona, almost every day there is a bombing and then terrorism, right? This kind of news. So yeah, now of course it's different. People have very scary image still, yeah, negative image of Islam. So we need to overcome. We need to overcome this. One of the purposes and the objectives of Dawah is to remove misunderstanding, misconceptions of Islam. Not necessarily someone make shahada, but at least we remove misunderstanding, misconceptions of Islam.
Mashallah, mashallah. Yeah, and there are many ways to remove the misunderstanding through many ways. So I believe, first of all, it's ourselves to become a good Muslim, that we portray what Islam truly teach us, because people tend to judge people, look at us rather than they read from Quran. And only after we really good and we show a good attitude and good progress, then we'll get the buy-in. We get the buy-in in the sense that people respect us, they know us, and then they will listen when we start talking to them. I mean, that's my understanding. So,
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Alhamdulillah, it's almost 10:15. We actually spend, time flies. It's like almost more than 1 hour that we've been talking.
Right.
Yeah. And I would like to thank all our fans, our friends, brothers and sisters who are with us tonight, posting a lot of good questions. Your questions are, mashallah, it's very practical and very good questions, tonight. And we still have them commenting here, like, do visit next trip to Japan. I'll try to visit you in Chiba.
Please.
All right.
Chiba Islamic Cultural Center, please access to homepage.
Right.
And then you can find.
Okay, good. And I believe that Haji Kyoichiro Sugimoto, our brother Sugimoto, also actively posting a lot of videos on your YouTube channel. Yeah. So for our friends and brothers, sisters who want to learn more, you could actually subscribe to the channel. But it's in Japanese, right?
Japanese,
in
basically,
Japanese language.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I have kind of your dilemma. There are many international audience, they're expecting translation. But once I translated, it took too much time.
Right. Maybe for a start, I think for a start now it's just in Japanese. Then when along the way, if you have more manpower or resources, and it's good to do that.
Inshallah.
Yeah. So once again, thank you very much, brother Sugimoto, all the way from Chiba. Tonight, it's very late, I believe. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock here in Malaysia, and it's 11 o'clock in Japan. And yet you are making time to share with us your experience. We very much would like to invite you again to this live chat, most probably, inshallah, next month, to share with us more, maybe with a more further discussion about dakwah activities specifically in Japan. Yeah, that's something that it will be very interesting for us to learn from you. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for liking the page and sharing the page tonight. We would very much like to see everyone again soon in our very next episode of My Journey to Islam. All right. So with this, thank you, everyone. And if there is anything that not complete tonight and we didn't convey properly, it's our mistake. We apologize for that. But we look forward to seeing all of you again soon in our next episode. And thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Okay.
wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Salam. Thank you. Regards, Brother Sugimoto. Oh, Assalamualaikum.